This is a video for another Samson amplifier. This one is particularly a SX1200. I like all these amplifiers made by High Performance Amplification in China. They're all discontinued now, but that doesn't stop me from continuing to buy these powerhouse amplifiers. This particular one, I sort of fooled around with it and changed it up, seeing as I got it fairly cheap. And we'll take the top off now. The screws are already done. There you can see the inside of the amplifier. It doesn't look exactly the same as it's supposed to be when it's purchased. In the rear, as you can see, I have updated the capacitors to a full 10,000 UF 105C, and I have changed all of the smaller capacitors in the power supply. I have changed for top of the line United Chemicon, KZN or KYB, either one is fine by me. And because I took this board apart and it was out anyway, if you're going to do work, you may as well do it. So what I did was I replaced the bridge rectifiers, and the bridge rectifiers, they're underneath these separate heat sinks on this power supply. And these are 35 amp rectifiers, and I simply changed them out for 50 amp rectifiers that are usually on something like 800 watt per channel amplifiers or more. But seeing as it was out and it was only a couple bucks, I decided I'll change them as well. And this is it finished. I explained a bit in another video about how I got the caps off and everything and changed the caps on that board. So I won't go over that here, but yeah, it's quite the powerhouse. These here are actually, these are JCCon, and I got them on AliExpress, $24 Canadian for all four. They were cheap as Porsche, and I didn't want to spend a lot of money on this thing, so I'm more than happy to get these direct from China capacitors. A lot of amplifiers sort of come with Chinese capacitors anyway. The original ones in this amplifier were Zuscon. These caps are probably just as good as those as far as I'm concerned. I think they are. Except that these are bigger. These used to be 3300 UF and now they're 10,000. So, which is much more better. And then just for the sake of it, because the amplifier board is out, I changed these as well. There were the bridge rectifiers under those heat sinks. Just because it's out, you may as well do it while it's there if it's only a couple of bucks. And then I put it all back together, and then because most of the units that I use are used in the home rather than in a pro situation, I went back and I disconnected the fans and rewired them in series. So now if you power the unit up like this here, you can hear the fans have just come on, and they're dead silent. You can barely hear them at all. Not quite as much airflow, but that's exactly what you want if you're just using it in the home anyway. Amazingly enough, like, this is like the bottom of the Samson line, and you know, this thing isn't too bad for, you know, what it is. Like 300 watts RMS. That's quite a bit of power for using for a pair of home audio speakers, or any pair of speakers for that matter. As long as you're not doing a bass situation, that's not too bad of an amplifier at all. If you look over here again, all these amplifiers, they're changeable too. So if you actually wanted to run this amplifier on 240 volt, you simply move two wires, you know, the black one over one and the blue one over two, kaboom, and you're at 240 volt, and that's pretty much covers it. Like, you know, these things are they're not going to be making these anymore. More and more they're going to be making that SMPS Class D stuff, and the main reason they make them is because it's simple. They can produce the entire amplifier for less than the cost of that one piece of metal in the middle. The entire SMPS amplifier, the whole case, everything, they can make it for less than the cost of that toroidal transformer. And we're talking about the OEM cost of that toroidal transformer, not full-blown retail. The actual cost that a manufacturer would pay for buying hundreds upon hundreds of these toroidal transformers. So, yeah, the new world is they sell you on efficiency, they sell you on this, they sell you on that, and the real benefit is more money in their pocket. The only benefit to the individual is probably a lighter amplifier, and the fact that you'll have to replace it a heck of a lot more often than you will in one of these. It's like they say, toroidal transformer for absolute reliability. You know, that's exactly what it is. These things don't fail like SMPS power supplies do. Anyway, that's the video for the Samson SX 1200.